see it.
Right there.
Really?
Do you want to see?
It looks, yeah, let's see.
It's upside down.
Just to the eye, it looked. How does that look now to you, the picture? Does it look
There's
straight?
a lot. You can see the blinds a lot, but
Well, I don't mean that. I just mean it's not canted. In other words, if it's straight, we can lower it down, or I can sit forward more like this. Move it over here.
Because we could either, we could do that, or we could just
that right there. No, look at that. That's fine.
That's fine. That's perfect. Yep.
Okay, if I lean forward too.
Right, lean back.
Even
back.
even with him leaning forward.
Yeah.
If you want to,
I think it's best when you're like that.
if you want to move forward, and I'll tell you when you can stop. Like you could, you could easily, if you wanted to. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why don't we shut that window? That'll certainly help with the sound. Just push it up. That's it. Touch your fingers. Great. All right.
Looks good.
Can you check the?
Sure.
You press the button.
Just the blue, that button right there.
This button right here. I'll press it for you. See? So then it says. See that red? Okay.
Not that bad.
Hey, Johnny.
Do you mind the exposure on that if you do that?
That's fine. Yeah.
What's that?
We're going to be taping.
Oh, we're parking in your place?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, just so you don't walk in the middle and ask something. We'll be quiet around it. Yeah.
Would you like me to move the car now?
We're all get out. Have all this stuff on the way. So what did you say in the email? Is it going to be about an hour to set up? It's been about an hour, right?
I don't. Well, I told you these are difficult.
I knew it would be late.
But I'll have
I'll just see what comes up.
I have about 10 more conventional questions.
10 conventional questions, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll try to give 3.5 conventional answers. And
You want to introduce yourselves both first?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. As you see fit, you can just introduce you both, or
Noel thinks I know a thing or two about music, so he thinks that would help.
here's to it. So are we rolling?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's to a great interview.
Yes. This is Jenny Sue Nisio here interviewing director Rob Nilsson. And Rob, why don't you tell us about the origins of your film?
The origins of Words for Dying. Well, I got a call from David Donahue, who's a producer from Ireland, from Dublin, and he said that they were thinking of doing a movie on John Cale and Brian Eno doing a record, and so I said, well, that sounds interesting. They're going to the Soviet Union, going to Dublin, going to Wales, going to England, going to lots of places, and Holland as well. So that was all good, and preparations were all made, and I arrived in London to find out that Brian didn't want to make the film, and that no one had told Brian that we were making a film. No, I don't know if
Is that true, though? Because there was some suspicion in the film, that John said he did tell Brian.
Yeah, and John's a rascal. He may or may not have, and whether he did or not, it became an interesting obstacle, and I decided to be as stubborn as Brian was, and we duked it out. But that's the story of the movie. So I don't know.
Well, where were you at in your career when you started working on this project?
I think I had just won the grand prize at Sundance, which was '88, and this was what, '89 or '90? '89, yeah. So I just won that prize. That's probably why they were interested in me at that time. And but I found it very fascinating too. It's kind of like a detective movie. You try to find the different ways in which you can foil the or discover, or in some ways solve the puzzle of the opposition to your plan, which is to make the best movie that you can make and find out what's interesting to you and all of that. And I enjoyed trying to get around Brian's opposition. As you can see, I was willing to do yoga exercises in behalf of the film, and
which he thought was an angle.
Huh?
He thought that was an angle.
Yeah, which he was right. It was an angle.
What were your musical leanings at the time? Were you familiar with Velvet Underground and John Cale, and did that appeal to you?
No, the Velvet Underground and Andy Warhol and all of that was not really of much interest to me. I was interested in jazz, and I came up on jazz and the great high flyers of jazz, the Sonny Rollins and Coltrane's and Dizzy Gillespie's and all of those guys. That to me was, and still is, the more challenging music. And so, being also that I was there at an early stage in New York, early to say probably not early for bebop, but I think Charlie Parker was dead by the time that I was hanging around the Village. So no, I can't claim even a great knowledge or an affinity for that music. But I liked John, and I thought John was a great character, and I like his approach and his feeling for Dylan Thomas and all of that was strong.